second generation Mazda Miata is the forgotten generation because the first gens are super darn valuable nowadays. The third gens, everybody talks about how ugly they are, and the fourth gens, everybody talks about how beautiful they are. But then you think of the second gen and everybody just kind of goes, I don't know, they're fine. But I'm here to tell you why this is the generation that you should be buying. When the second generation Mazda Miata debuted in 1999, they didn't want to mess with their success from the first generation, so they didn't change it drastically. It was more of an evolution from the original design. There were a few changes that we will get to, but the key thing was this was slightly larger for our American-sized body since it was so well selling here in the US, but they did borrow some of the styling cues of the otherwise popular RX-7, which I think is a very striking and beautiful car, but they kept it lightweight. In fact, this only weighed about 2,300 pounds. But one of the key changes that everybody hates is these headlights, because they got away from the pop-up headlights that were so beloved in that first generation and went with these fixed headlights, but you can't blame them. They had to do that per the crash standards. Now, under the hood of the second generation Mazda Miata is their 1.8 liter four-cylinder, and this really only puts out about 140 horsepower, so we are not talking about something that is going to be exhilarating in a straight line. The main reason that people love these, and the reason why they are so fun, is because they are lightweight, they are small, they are nimble, and they are agile and fun to drive. The straight line performance is, well, it is what it is. Jesus. Yeah, I'm just getting myself situated in here because it is quite compact and, well, quite frankly, I am not a small guy. So yeah, this is a little bit cramped for a long drive. I don't know that I would want to take a road trip in something like this, but if I am just maybe heading up to the mountains, doing like a little twisty road drive for an hour or two, yeah, I could totally see spending some time in this. I mean, the fact is that this is, again, not a car that is about comfort. This is a car that is about handling, about road fun, right? I mean, they weren't building this to be a muscle car, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, this is just a car that should be driven kind of hard. It's kind of meant to be wrung out, and I think that these engines are generally pretty reliable even when wrung out. But ooh, yeah, they sound good too. So I've got it here at the auction, and I'm driving it down the little test track, and it's a little bit of a snowy test track. We had some snow over the last few days, but I'm gonna circle back around and try and hit that once again because my back end stepped out a little bit on me there. But ooh, you know, this is actually, I've been kind of harking on it for it being slow. It's not as slow as you would think. I mean, 140 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot, but when you factor in how lightweight this car is and how small it is, it feels quick enough. I'm not over here wishing I had more power. I mean, I'm wishing I didn't have to crouch down to fit into it, but power isn't an issue with this car. Woo! Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is plenty fun to drive, and I'm just going in a straight line here on the test track, and that's exhilarating. I mean, it's, you know, it's no Corvette or anything like that, but it's still a lot of fun. And wow, yeah, look at me, I'm getting rid of one of my own preconceived notions of these cars being slow in a straight line, and maybe you should too. Now, another one of the benefits of going with the second gen is you do get a little bit larger trunk. Now, it's still small compared to most cars out on the road, but it makes this car slightly more usable. And then you do also get an actual glass rear window, whereas that first gen, it was just plastic, so it is a little bit more of a quiet ride. Now, the elephant in the room about these cars, or that guy in a small car, is the fact that they are really darn small. In fact, I mean, my head is touching the roof here. I'm only about 5'9", so If you're looking for something spacious, well, this isn't it. You might want to look for something else, but it does kind of hug you and hold you in. You feel like you're kind of strapped into this little car and like you're a part of it. Rather than sitting in a car, you feel like you are kind of like one with the car. Now, this one's got an aftermarket steering wheel, and, well, to be honest, it looks kind of, it's not my favorite, even though it is a Momo. I do like the traditional steering wheels. They are a little bit bigger than this guy, but everything in here is really darn small. The instrument cluster is small. Even like, look at this little fan speed thing. It is super tiny. I mean, it is not much bigger than my fingernail. And that's just kind of the theme of the whole interior. Everything is as small and compact as possible, but that's to keep the weight down. So the main reason why I recommend these guys, the NB second generation Miata versus the others, is simply because of price. So if you're looking at those NA Miatas, they've gotten a little bit collector statusy. They're starting to shoot up in value. In fact, these generally trade for $3,000 to $5,000 less than the NA Miata. And I mean, look at it. It looks a lot like the original one. Yeah, you lose the pop-up headlights. Yeah, they're a little bit heavier, but you get more comfort. You get just the same reliability. You get the same fun attitude that these things are known for, but you get it for a lot less than any other generation of Miata because these are just kind of forgotten about. People always overlook them, and I think you really shouldn't. I mean, we're talking prices of like the top of the market of these is like $7,000. Sure, the Mazda Speeds are going to be a bit more expensive, but if you're just talking your average NB Miata, you can get them for like $5,000, maybe a little bit less in good running condition. And I think at that price point, it makes for a pretty darn compelling, fun little car to drive around. Well, I want to know what you guys think in the comments section below, and I'm sure there are some NB owners out there that are watching this video. Comment what your experience have been with these cars. I would love to know. But for everything else, check out alltfl.com. This has been Brendan, Ian behind the camera. Take care, guys.